What's up guys, UFC Daily Show, back with another video today, and we're going to be discussing who will lose their title in 2020. And with no further ado, let's get straight into it. Number 1. Alexander Volkanovski featherweight title. I know Volkanovski just won the title against Max Holloway, but for me he didn't do it in a very convincing manner. Max's main downfall was the leg kicks. His mentality going into the fight was wrong. He thought if he could outstrike Volkanovski, he could win the fight, but Volkanovski worked him with the leg kicks. Even though they didn't seem to hurt Max, they were still landing. Therefore, they countered the strikes. If he can make those simple adjustments and start checking the leg kicks, I believe the second fight will play out different. 2 judges scored the fight 3-2 Volkanovski, and 1 judge had him winning all 5 rounds, which is ludicrous when you look at the fight. Max is smart and experienced, and I believe that in their second fight, that he will retain the title. Number 2. Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo is an interesting character. No matter how cringy you might think he is as a person, you can't doubt him as a martial artist. He's a former Olympic champion and the current flyweight and bantamweight champion. He was the first person to beat Demetrius Johnson after a dominant reign, and he was able to stop king of the bantamweights TJ Dillashaw on EPDs. At the time of this recording, Henry Cejudo is out with injury. However, he has declared interest in fighting former featherweight champion Jose Aldo. Now, I don't actually see Cejudo losing his belt in a fight, but I can see him relinquishing the belt. Cejudo is 32 and is coming off a major injury. He's scheduled to return by the summer, but after coming off a major injury, it won't be 100% crazy to think Henry won't be able to be 100% for a while. To add to that, after defending the bantamweight title, you have to cut even more weight and go down to flyweight and defend the title. As prestigious as that double champ status sound, it can be certainly said that it is not worth the hassle of fighting in 2 different weight classes and continuously cutting weight then gaining weight again. Weight cutting becomes more difficult the older you get. It can get taxing on the body and eventually just become a burden. Continuous weight cuts can result in diminishing returns and end up affecting a fighter's performance. Just look at Chris Cyborg's and the physical state it left her before many of her featherweight bouts. In regards to longevity, I can definitely see him only fighting in 1 weight class. He'll just have to see which one is the best weight class for him and then decide to stay there. Number 3. Israel Adesanya. Israel had a very quick rise to UFC stardom. He took the less conventional route and started fighting in China. For years, Adesanya had been ready for the UFC, but it took his time and fought in China to gain the vital experience he would need to face any opponent with any sort of style in the UFC. Israel would amount big wins in his rise to the UFC Championship, getting wins over Anderson Silva, having a fight of the year with Kevin Gastelum, and winning the title against Robert Whittaker. Israel's fights have certainly made the headlines, but the question is still, how would he do against the toughest fighters in the division? He already has his sights set on John Jones, but he can't forget about the killers that lie in his division. Paulo Costa remains waiting for a title shot. Yoel Romero, who Israel is fighting next, is the boogeyman of that division, and Darren Till, who has a similar style to Israel, would make for a good matchup. So before jumping the gun, Israel really needs to focus on clearing his division, because any of those guys can defeat him, and he'll be added to the list of one and done fighters. Number 4. Zhang Weili. At the time of this recording, Zhang is currently 19-1. She currently boasts one of the best UFC records for a champion. Even though she impressed the world with her first round knockout of Jessica Andrade, her record doesn't hold many top contenders such as Rose Namajunas and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Similar to the situation Adesanya is in, you've beat the champion, but you still have experienced contenders who are ready to fight and could easily dethrone you. Number 5. Stipe Miocic. There's no doubt Stipe will go down in history as one of the best heavyweights of all time, but like many others, it is so unfortunate that he's in an era with so many talented fighters, which has resulted in him not getting the appreciation that he deserves. Stipe is the definition of humility, never talks trash, hard-working family man. Stipe's next few matches have the potential to be against opponents that can dethrone him. Let's look at the potential matchup. DC versus Stipe trilogy. It's very difficult to pick a clear favorite for this fight. By watching both the first fight and the second fight, all you can assume is that if history tells us anything about these two, someone will get knocked out in the third fight. Second, Jon Jones. It's been rumoured that Jon Jones is walking around 230 pounds with a six-pack. The guy is putting on a lot of muscle on an already muscular frame, and this is no doubt in preparation for him moving up to heavyweight. We saw the strength of Jon Jones lifting up DC and taking him down. This was a glimmer into the power Jon truly possesses. We have no doubt that Jon will be able to take Stipe down, and in the striking department, there hasn't been anyone who's matched Jon Jones so far, so this would be a very hard fight for Stipe to win. Last but not least, Francis Ngannou. We've already seen these two fight and we saw the result, but since Ngannou and Stipe met, Ngannou has been on a winning streak. Losing a fight to someone doesn't definitely mean that they're better than you. It could mean that the fight may have been given to someone slightly early, before they got experience. Look at Till versus Woodley. Now that Darren has had the opportunity to fight at the big stage and find his weight class, we're now seeing a different fighter. We have no doubt that he's learned from his previous mistakes, and if they were to meet in the octagon again, the fight would play out differently. What do you think? Did we miss anyone out? Or do you think someone can keep their title? Let us know in the comment section. Please subscribe to MMA Daily and turn on your notifications on, and I'll be back with a video tomorrow.